That Deborah Cox song, that's the song I sing every time I look in the mirror and I see this old face staring back at me that I don't recognize. But if I'm honest, it wasn't the old face staring back from the mirror that first gave me an indication that I was getting old. No, it was when I started showing up to events and younger people, started using labels to refer to me that I used to use to refer to people that were aging that I looked up to. They started calling me. I showed up and they said, Tei Street is the legend. When it comes to young people, Tei Street is the godmother. Like I'm Donna Corleone. Tei Street is the village auntie. And I knew that every single one of those labels was meant to honor me, to pay homage to my years of service to young people, and quite frankly, to put some respect on my name. That's why I couldn't figure out for the life of me why every time I heard those phrases, they made me angry. And in full transparency, it was during the first iteration of this talk that I understood how angry I was, because my anger was front and center. But I knew that anger was a branch, but it wasn't the root. And so I did what I often do when I need to get to the root of a thing concerning me. I called my therapist and I scheduled an appointment. And in that session with her, I came to understand that I was correct, that anger was simply a manifestation of a branch of something far deeper at the root. And it was in that moment in therapy that I came to understand that I was afraid of aging because of what it represents. For me, aging was a constant reminder that I am going to die. How did I get here? It feels like aging just creeped up on me. Like when I looked in the mirror and saw some wrinkles. And sometimes aging, it whispers to me late at night when I'm laying in my bed and I feel aches in parts of my body that I didn't even know existed. And sometimes anger shouts loudly, like when I look in the face of my grandson and I realize that there are far more years behind me than in front of me. How did I get here? But more importantly, where am I going? Now, I don't know where you are on your aging journey or how aging is showing up for you. But for me, aging showed up like an uninvited house guest who moved into my house and slowly started to rearrange the furniture. I woke up one morning and my knees didn't bend like they used to. My memory was playing hide and seek. And my energy meter that used to be on 100 24/7, it has a very strict curfew. And I know that I'm not alone. How do I know? Because this culture, we sprint from aging. We've got aging creams, we've got facelifts, we got filters on phones, and we got slogans. We got slogans like 30 is the new 20, 60 is the new 40. But no matter how many slogans we invent, aging keeps moving the furniture. And with each rearrangement, it leaves us little notes that reminds us that this life is temporary. And it was sitting in therapy when that thought, this life is temporary, hit me the hardest. And it was heavy. I sat in it for a while. But then I realized that aging doesn't just come to make us heavy. It was in therapy that I realized that aging was offering me some invitations. It offered me 3 very distinct invitations that I want to extend to you today. The first invitation that aging offered me was the invitation to remember. Aging offers us the opportunity to look back and see the stories that our lives have been writing, to honor the lessons, to heal the regrets, and to acknowledge those ordinary moments and realize there was nothing ordinary about them. Aging invites us to look back with sacred attention. When I look back over my life, I'm in awe of all the moments, big ones and small ones, triumphant ones and tragic ones, that combined to make my life amazing. Not just to see what I've done, but to see who I've become. One of the things I'm most proud of is that I've become someone who moved from juvenile delinquency to a disruptor of juvenile delinquency for thousands of young people. Aging invites us to remember. What do you remember when you look back over your life? Me? I remember birthdays. I remember breakups. I remember skating. I remember laughing and cooking in my mom's kitchen. I remember standing in the hospital room when my grandmother passed and crying with my family. I remember every career win. And I remember the moment that I realized that a title couldn't hug me back. I remember because memories are the things that we use to stitch meaning into time. We mine our memories like gold, not for regret, but for wisdom. And then we're able to offer that wisdom to the generations coming behind us so that our landmines can become their roadmaps. The second invitation is the invitation to release. It's my favorite. The invitation to release. Like many of you, I spent my younger years accumulating titles and possessions and people and grudges. But at this good age, when invitation came to release, I accepted it. What do you wish you could release? I released the weight of perfection. I released FOMO, the fear of missing out. I don't go to anything I don't want to go to. I released the thought that I could control everything. I released the need to win every argument. I released the expectations placed on me by other people. I released, and can I tell you, there is great freedom in just releasing. Like the autumn tree that sheds its leaves, we release, not because we're dying, but because we're making space to live life more lightly. We release. I realized that I never needed all those things I had been accumulating. By focusing on the things that matter, I suddenly understood what didn't. And so release opened me up to the third invitation, the invitation to reimagine. What if we could reimagine that aging wasn't a preparation for death, but aging was the opening of a door to a new reimagination for life? We could ask ourselves questions like, how do I want to live fuller? How do I want to love deeper? How do I want to serve better? We can reimagine success not as accumulation, but as impact. What if we could reimagine that retirement isn't a retreat, but a rebirth? And what if we could imagine that the third of life could be the best third of life? What if we could reimagine that we could start a mentoring group for girls at 60, or we could learn how to play the acoustic guitar, or to paint, or to write poetry at 65? And what if we finally had the courage to live with authenticity and to say with courage, I'm sorry, or I love you, while we still have time? My most poignant confrontation with death happened in 2021 when I buried my mother. And 3 years later, I became a grandmother. I remember holding this tiny life in my hands, and I could hear him breathing. And with each breath, I could feel new beginnings. And with each breath, I knew that I was moving closer to my own ending. But I didn't feel despair. I felt strangely clear. All the white noise of busyness, it faded. For the first time, what mattered most was unmistakable. The people that I love, the purpose that I serve, and the legacy that I leave. Now, I would be lying if I didn't tell you that as a minister of the gospel, I had to ask myself when I was confronted with the fact that I'm afraid to die, is this a crisis of faith? My answer is absolutely not. I can believe in heaven and still stand at the edge of the unknown and tremble. I can believe in a coming resurrection and still mourn and grieve the loss of other people and of myself. Why? Because our faith does not cancel our humanity. And so when I stand at the precipice, I think about Jesus. Think about it. He came to the earth knowing that he was going to die. He knew that he was going to be raised up. But when he got to the moment, he stopped and he looked up and he said, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. His humanity was on full display. So it's okay that if when you and I get to the precipice of life and death, we tremble a little and our humanity is on full display as well. As we get to the ends of our lives, we get to reimagine what this time can mean. I think that aging has been trying to teach me all along that legacy isn't just what we leave behind. It's what we live through. So the next time you get to the place and you're like me and you're asking, how did I get here? You got here. And I got here the exact same way. One breath, one step, one day at a time. We get to look out and know that though we can never stop aging and we can never not die, we get to choose how we do it. We can choose if aging will make us bitter, or we can choose if the end of life and death invites us to live life better. So the next time you're sitting alone and you're wondering, how did I get here? Just know you are exactly where you're meant to be. You're standing at the doorway of invitation to live fully, to love deeply, and to leave something that death can't erase. A legacy. Yep. Today, I'm extending an invitation to you to life, to remember, to release, and to reimagine. This is your invitation. I dare you to open it. Thank you.